If you're wondering what kicks you out of ketosis, what are you eating that might be a trigger to kick you out of ketosis, what should you stay away from, what reacts, I got a list. So if you guys want to hear it, if you're interested, please stay tuned. Hey friends, welcome back. I let you guys know, a lot of people ask, what are you eating? What should I stay away from? What's going to kick me out of ketosis? What's going to trigger a insulin spike? What are the things that people might think they should eat, but not in abundance? I got a list. This list has been kind of formed throughout the last couple weeks. If you guys are new here, beginning of November, I recently started to monitor my ketones with the Keto MOJO, and I really feel like this has helped me really kick my weight loss back into gear and really help with fat loss, staying in ketosis for the most part. Pretty much I have never really dropped below like a 0.8 when watching all these things, okay? So anything above a 0.5 is like nutritional ketosis, and then 1 to 3 is like therapeutic, okay? Or it's not therapeutic, weight loss, I think. I forget how it goes, you know, it's each person's different, but I strive to stay above a 0.5, and then, you know, between like a 0.5 and a 1.5. 1 to 3 is like a really good for like optimal weight loss range, okay? Yeah, so I do have the Keto MOJO, and I can test my ketones with that one, and I can also test my glucose with that one as well, and I've been doing so. So it's been really an eye-opening experience for me, and I wanted to kind of share with you guys what I found to hopefully help you guys. I definitely think this is an individual reaction. What spikes for me may not spike for you, so take that into consideration. Also, it's to each its own. Just, you know, no one has to be as strict as me, or, you know, I could be stricter, but I'm not. So, you know, I'm just giving you what I've seen, and maybe it's something that you can watch. If you wanted to see your personal experience, I definitely recommend getting like a Keto MOJO, Keto Coach, something like that, to see what your body reacts to, okay? So I do have a list because I've been writing them down. The first thing, which was no surprise, I'd heard it and I didn't want to believe it, was Diet Pop. Diet Pop has definitely triggered it for me. I found that I could have like 1 can and it will keep me within range in ketosis, maybe drop me from like a 1 to a 0.9 or a 0.8, but it definitely will spike my glucose. You know, I'll usually go from like an 86, 87 to sometimes like a 90. So yeah, not saying that I don't drink it as much. I used to drink like maybe like 5 or 6 cans of Diet Pop a day. And I didn't think anything of it because it's, you know, 0 carbs. And then my weight loss was completely at a stall. I was bloated. I just didn't see the benefits of keto. And then I noticed that when I got this meter, I wasn't in ketosis, and I was like, what the hell am I doing wrong? So definitely I've had to cut back. There are options. You can do like Zevia. Is that the name of the pop? It's a little bit more expensive. I just drink water, and I've been doing like the water enhancers. So far the Great Value brand has worked for me. I forget what it's sweetened with. I don't remember. I don't think it's aspartame, but I don't think so. I think it was erythritol. I'm not too sure. I have to look at it. But I don't even do those that much. I pretty much just stay to water, and I'll do like lemon water and throw mint in it and stuff like that, or like some fresh fruit in it, just to kind of give me that, and that's been helping me stay within like range. Or I'll do like a carbonated water, and then I'll put a fruit enhancer in it. Some people say that they can do like, they make their own soda, like those soda machines. I've seen those. I don't know, they're kind of pricey, but that's an option if you are like a diehard soda drinker. So number 2, sausages. Okay, so number 2 is like any type of like cased meat, like the sausage, Italian sausage, bratwurst, breakfast sausage. You have to be really careful with the casings and stuff like that, because they're like kind of stuffed themselves. So I've noticed that those do kind of kick me out, and you have to watch the portion sizing. I've noticed that when I do like the good like grass-fed like Tenson sausages, or like chicken sausage, or the pork sausage I get from Costco's okay, the breakfast sausage, I haven't had an issue. But if I do like a Hillshire Farm, or you know, the kind you get from the grocery store, those do kick me out. And it's I don't find them to be as filling too, so I usually have to eat more than one, and that's kind of where the issue lies, unless you get them like a good grass-fed, you know, high quality one where you know that they're not adding like crap to it. That might be an option for you, but that's something that I've noticed. I have like the randomest things written on this list. Okay, number 3 and 4 is going to be Powerade and Gatorade. Yes. So whoever that person was who went off on me for having Powerade and how it was bad for me, and I was like, okay, thanks, I guess you were right. It's good for electrolytes and stuff like that, like the Powerade and Gatorade Zero, but it kicks me out like big time. Like my insulin or my glucose spikes like 8 points, and it completely like, one time I got like a 0 reading. It completely kicked me out after I had a whole Powerade. So, which sucks because I liked having them for the electrolytes, but what I've been doing is just making sure that I am taking my supplements. I've been getting the electrolyte water from like either Walmart or Whole Foods. It's like it's not like a bougie Whole Foods brand. It's like the cheaper brand. It's like $1.50 for like a liter. It's a pretty good price. And I've been getting them that way, and just opting out of the Powerade, Gatorade thing. Again, one of those things that shocked me, but it is what it is. I was like, I mean, my grocery bill's getting a little lower. No, not really. I'm buying other stuff. Okay, here's another thing that and I have the reason pulled up on my computer because I need, or my cell phone, so I can tell you guys the actual scientific thing behind it. It's going to be too much protein. Too much protein on keto is not a good thing. As you guys know, my macros are slightly different. I do not use a calculator. So right now, my current macros are 150 grams of fat, 75 grams of protein, 20, I'm doing total carbs, okay? And that's what works for me. I've been seeing great results, okay? But if I go over, if I'm doing like 100, and that's what I was doing initially when I first started, checking my monitor, I think my macros were like 90 to 100 of protein, maybe 120 of fat. That was a lot, and I was just not losing. And only time I would lose is when I was going on fasts, and you know, I was just playing with that same few pounds, or I would be super bloated. I just wasn't seeing any results. So here's the thing. This is what it says, and this is from a healthlinenutrition.com. And it says, when you eat more protein than your body needs, some of its amino acids will be turned into glucose via a process called, be gentle, gluconeogenesis. This can become a problem on a very low carb diet or ketogenic diet and prevent your body from going into full-blown ketosis. Okay, so there you go. I know I told you guys this and I had to like look it up so I could read it to you, but there's a scientific thing. I know everybody likes the science behind it. So yes, eating too much protein. I was just talking to one of my girlfriends on Instagram last night, and she's like, dude, I'm actually gaining weight right now. And she's like, but I'm eating I'm eating a lot of, what did she tell me she was eating? Like pepperoni, like fatter, like meats. But I'm like, dude, you're eating too much protein. Well, it's keto protein. I'm like, but it's still too much. You got to get the fats in, not just keto fat, like keto fatty protein, but you need higher fat. Okay, higher fat. Keto by definition is a high fat, moderate protein, low carb diet. Okay, so that's how you're going to actually get into ketosis and how you're going to stay there. Okay, but disclaimer, if you're out and like, you know, you don't have options, and I'm gonna be like, well, just eat pads of butter. No, I mean, eat what you can. You know, don't starve yourself if you're out, and you make the best choices. But for like a daily basis, for staying in ketosis on a daily basis, these are the things that I follow. Okay, wraps. So it's 6 and 7. We're gonna be low carb wraps, low carb tortillas, and then 7 will be all the low carb breads. That Smart Choice bread, the Aldi's, I never even found the Aldi zero carb bread. And like I had other Sola brand, all that stuff. I do like them. They're good options. Leo has them. He's not as interested into staying ketosis as he is to being just low carb. And again, they're great options for him. And you know, I make my kids like wraps and stuff with them, okay? But for me per se, I stay away from them because even though they are like net low carb, all the stuff they put in there, it kicks me out. It does nothing for me. It's just too processed and I just can't do it. I've been opting to make my own bread. You guys have probably seen, I just came out with a homemade tortilla. Is it a little bit more work? Yeah, to clean up this, for me to cleaning up my like keto eating, has made me make a lot of things from scratch. Is it a little bit more work? Yeah, but I like seeing where I'm going. I'm like seeing the results. I'm at this point now where I like knowing what's exactly into my food and the proof's in the pudding, and I'm just really, I feel so good physically and mentally that I don't want to go back. You know what I mean? I like where I'm going with it, and it's working. So yes, even though they are like net carb low, then it's just not working. But if you're just starting keto, and this is something that I don't necessarily say you should follow. This is just something for people who are really interested in getting into ketosis and staying there, okay? If you're just starting keto for beginners, all this stuff I'm talking to you guys about, you probably shouldn't worry about it just yet. Just get the hang of it. You know, this is a lot of information and it's taking me some time to figure it out and get there, okay? So again, if you're just starting, maybe this isn't the best video for you. These are just for people who've been on keto for a long time, seen stalls, and really want to get into ketosis and stay there, okay? Okay, so number 8. A lot of like restaurant eating because they use a lot of fillers. So I've been having to be careful with that. I have to ask now, which I never would have thought to do. So like with some burger places, they put breadcrumbs into their meat to make it bulkier. So I have finding myself, because I had a burger out and I was like, well, it's either the pickles that I had, and I did have a lot of pickles, but I ended up calling that restaurant and they do add breadcrumbs to their burgers. So I was like, oh, okay, slick son of a gun. Also with like omelets, a lot of places add pancake batter to the omelet to make it fluffier. So you have to ask. These are things that you know, if you feel like maybe it's a little, you're embarrassed, because some people just don't like asking, and you know, you could always just, you know, opt for, you know, eggs, like whole, you know, foods, you know, like eggs, bacon, you know, stuff like that. But if you want us to do an omelet and you're like, well, okay, then you get back home and you test it and you're like, what the hell, it was just egg. It probably had pancake batter in it. So don't be afraid to ask, but if you are afraid to ask, either ask the person you're with to ask for you or order something else to be on the safe side. That's just my advice. I don't know. I get weird and I'm like, excuse me, and I always say I have an allergy. I don't have an allergy. Okay, veggies. Veggies can kick you out, just depending on what kind of vegetables. So I try to stay to everything green. I try to stay away from anything that's not green, basically. So I do a lot of lettuce. I do a lot of asparagus, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, even though it's not green, I still eat it. Avocado, which I don't know is a fruit or a vegetable. Cucumber, stuff like that. That's kind of what I go to. Chayotes, which you guys see me make the apple crisps with. I do those as well. But I still weigh them. I never used to weigh my vegetables until, you know, more recent times, and just again for this, and I just make sure because I can eat, like, if you ever get like those bags of lettuce, I can eat a whole bag of it. Like, I grew up eating salads, so I love them with some dressing. Like, I'll weigh out my dressing, but I never considered weighing out the vegetables. And you know, I just been doing so, and it's been a lot easier for me too, especially because I just try to be mindful of my eating, okay? But again, get your veggies in. I do eat vegetables every day, and I still am able to get into ketosis. You don't, just make sure they're the low carb option. I don't really do a lot of fruit, but I do a lot of vegetables, and I've been able to maintain my numbers and, you know, weight loss and still get your greens in. Your greens are important, guys. You got to get your body some good nutrients, okay? So try to get some fresh vegetables in there. Spinach too, don't forget spinach. Also, I've noticed number 10 is like artificial sweeteners. Swerve, mostly like a Swerve thing if I eat a lot of keto treats, which I've been not really doing a lot, but you know, I could have like a piece of that pecan pie and I'll be fine, but I was eating so much of it. I was eating so much because I baked so much in one day that I was just eating, like I made meals out of desserts, like I had noticed that I went ahead and kicked myself out. So portion control, I still will eat the stuff and be able to stay in there, but it was like maybe I shouldn't have made my meals out of it, you know what I mean? That's why I don't do a lot of sweets. Like I like to do like the individual like mug cakes and stuff like that, or I'll do like a dessert but I send half of it out, or I make sure, you know, all of us will eat it, just because I like to eat. I didn't get big just not wanting to eat the good treats, guys, you know? So portion control and self-control is a big thing. So but yeah, a Swerve or any like sugar substitute in excessive amount will definitely kick you out. It will give you an insulin spike. I've tried the Chalk Zero and I did not have a response, but because when I made my fat bombs, I used the Chalk Zero chocolate chip cookies, and I had the chocolate chips, and I had no response. But again, I didn't eat like half of a bag. So it's all about portion control as well. That's with anything. Too much vegetables, too much protein. It's kind of a trend here. You have to portion it out in order to stay. So yeah, that's like my list of 10 things. And honestly, guys, this is like bonus number 11, too many carbs. That's gonna do it. If you use the carb manager, they'll tell you net carbs and total carbs. And you know, if you notice that your net carbs are like 15, but your total carbs are 50, and you're like, well, you know, I'm not in ketosis, what's going on? But everything else looks good, you might want to check those total carbs. Because if you're still stalling, you might want to start watching those. So I know a lot of like people eat these wraps and stuff like that, and it's them total carbs really do matter when you're really trying to lose those it's the last 10 to 20 pounds that are real tricky, and you have to really, really tighten up the reins to see the results. So if you guys want to leave anything down below that you notice that is, you know, maybe stalling you or kick you out, or something that you have to be careful with that I did not list, please list it down below. You know, we're friends here and we're trying to help each other, and I know that we would all appreciate all the input. I learned so much from you guys, and I don't ever want you guys to think that like you can't leave an opinion or anything like that, okay? I respect you guys, and as long as you guys come to me, you know, like not like biting my head off, you know, I'm welcome to any type of, you know, criticism and stuff like that, or opinions, okay? Just be kind, that's all. But all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up. If you're new here, hey, what's up? My name is Danielle, and I would love you to stick around and join the crew. It's a good place to be. We're real friends around here, and we do this keto thing a few times during the week, and then we touch on everything else. Anything that is everything in your everyday life, we touch on it here. It's a good place to be. But all right, guys, I will see y'all on the next one. Take it easy, friends.